try.
Here you go.
Hold on.
Welcome everybody in chat, by the way. Ja Soleil, how are you doing, buddy?
That's the wrong button.
Fox Mulder. I think he's rejoined.
Corey. We're taking over.
Yep, it's our ship now.
Yep.
Red Squirrel, oi.
Shout out to Red Squirrel. Yeah, so this is something, again, just talking about macros and stuff that Richard tweeted the other day that I think is a little bit interesting and maybe give some people, I don't know, kind of what they're looking for, if they're looking for some sort of answer, which, again, I avoid looking for in all the noise that's been happening lately. But breaking the government non-acquired assets bound the stockpile, Corey mentioned that. And then, Trump signed the executive order for the reserve decapitalized of Bitcoin owned by the federal government and forfeit as part of the seizures and process. Again, the stockpiles. But the interesting subtweet from this is short-term bearish because wish thinkers dreamt them up expectations that no one in power or I actually gave them. Long-term bullish because it removes sell pressure. So if you want to know what apparently Richard thinks about the Bitcoin reserve, sounds like short-term bearish, but long-term bullish.
There you go. And that's what I expected, short-term bearish, long-term bullish. I mean, that's what a lot of people are saying when you have a debate with someone about the tariffs. So, it's
there is no second best.
What's up?
I said there is no second best.
There you go.
So take your house, mortgage it, you can buy more Bitcoin. Sorry.
If you're setting policy for a net neutral buying as net neutral, so it's nothing going to the taxpayer. And if you're keeping forfeiture, there are people who do shady shit in this industry, right?
Yeah.
So if you're, or with crypto, so if you're keeping those forfeitures and keeping them in your strategic reserves, so it is nothing to the taxpayer. That leaves you less liable, right? Because you would have one side of the political spectrum saying you should buy that, and then you would have one end of the other end saying he's spending taxpayer dollars on that when he's cutting all this other stuff. So I think it's a proper way to get that strategic reserve built. I don't have any problem at all with that strategic reserve keeping crypto in their hands that was forfeited by people doing shady stuff in this industry. None at all.
No, well said. I agree.
I'll just say, perhaps bullish for Pulse Chain. Richard drew an ascending triangle on the Pulse X chart. So there's that. If you're looking for, when price go up, who knows? But founder draw ascending triangle def.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna bring up the whole SEC thing. I know that it's over, but it's not over for another what the hell's today? March 11th. So it's not over officially until like March 20th, I believe that's the day, 20 calendar days or some shit. So I don't want to talk about that until it happens. But I will say that's a very good news. I'm just hoping that they don't, make another complaint or retract or whatever they do. They make the complaint. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a lawyer. So I just hope that this is finally over.
You just want them to stop complaining.
What's up?
Just stop complaining.
Yeah,
that's what you want. You want them to stop complaining. No more complaining. Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this: since you go three were there, to my knowledge, how was the Pulse Chain conference in Vegas? I went to the one in 2022, but that was a long time ago. How was the time there?
We had a great time.
Yeah, it was great.
The event was awesome. It was sold out, which was pretty cool. Awesome. I saw people coming to the check-in table, expecting some day of tickets to be available, and there were none. So that was pretty awesome for RG3 and SJ and Kaylin to get that handled and get all of those tickets in the hands of people that attended. Because when the large, especially day one, when the speakers that people really, really wanted to see, that room was packed. It was full.
That's awesome.
Is Max in here with us?
He is now. Hey, Max.
Oh, I just got rid of him yesterday or the day before.
You want to be Max 1 or Max 2?
Dos Maxeros. That's Spanish.
Did you guys have any? Let me ask you guys this: did you guys have any special guests there? Like I remember in 2022, We had some special guests. I forgot who they were. I think one of them maybe one had to do with Netflix.
We had the Treasure of Nevada.
That's what it was you guys had this year. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, the Treasure of Nevada was there, and he was introduced by Glenn Truitt, right? Who does some tax stuff. He specializes in this sort of thing. Stock options, wealth preservation tax attorney is what he is, right? And I use him. He was introduced to me by some guys in No Permissions, and my wife and I use him. He's a good dude. Stanford grad, was in a submarine, so he's mentally stable, right? So you have to be that way to be in a sub, right? But I believe he introduced RG3 to the Nevada. What is either the controller, right? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, and awesome guy, and he was very approachable. There was a lot of people having conversations with him after he was done with his chat.
I find it amazing how you guys are able to, or whoever orchestrates this, are able to garner these big names. And like I remember there was like I remember back in 2022 there was like a tweet from like the mayor of Las Vegas that was these aren't small names bringing people in. You know, that's a big deal.
It is. I agree.
And within the community, we had a ton of big names. Such as 4 of us who are on the screen right now.
There you go.
But also like I Am B-Roots, Crypto Coffee was there. Obviously, RG3 was there. Like Axis was there. Like all the big names. When you think of Pulse Chain influencers, like all the biggest ones were there, except for Court Costa.
Yeah,
I tried.
We had Fast Abdoul and the brightest, whitest, nicest looking white jacket, white blazer I've ever seen.
And for a couple of days, he looked like the Joker. He had a very purple suit on.
I did bring
the controller of Nevada, the state controller of the Nevada, was more approachable than B-Roots. It was kind of odd.
True.
Very true.
So what was there any what else am I curious
Nuclear
about?
Herbs, by the way. I mean, I think we had probably, I feel like we had 50 to 70% of at least the people you see on stream a lot. Ton of streamers and content creators there.
And it was fun meeting Nuclear Herbs and his wife, right?
He's great.
I had lunch with them and Randy, and it was awesome hanging out with those guys and meeting them and just normal people trying to help Pulse Chain out. It's pretty cool.
DJ and Roundtable guys, I think all of them were there. Or a lot of them great, Zenith. Shout out to Zenith. You had Nate and Will. All of them.
Yeah.
Will. I mean it's an amazing event. I mean it's just it's so far from me. But it's definitely an amazing event. I mean, I remember 2022, the amount of people that were there, probably the same names you guys would think of, maybe with the exception of a few and maybe some more that weren't there in 2022. It's just wild in a very good way. It's just wild to me in a very positive manner that in the midst of horrendous market conditions ubiquitously, you guys were able to, or whoever did, was able to organize such a successful conference in Las Vegas. That's amazing.
You know why?
I'm sorry?
You know why?
Why?
We are going to win.
Yes. No, I mean, at this point, listen, I have tried to not be as pessimistic anymore, especially with the whole SEC case being done. That is something finally that was a major hurdle. And again, like I really hope these 9 days just, or whatever, it's March 11th, March 20th. Yeah, these 9 days just come and go. And it's just huge that happened. And I was literally, I swear to God, every time good news happens, I'm either asleep or away from my phone. And I was sleeping and I see like these messages, like, and I'm like, is this real? Am I like in a dream right now? What's going on here? So, when I saw that on February 28th, I was blown away. I was really blown away.
It was surreal. It was at the same, I had two different feelings I had too. It was like, wow, it happened. It finally happened.
Yeah.
But the whole time I had no doubt it was going to happen favorably in some way. It was just like, wow, it actually happened. When it hit, it was just like, wow, I'm not used to not being under, I'm not used to our community not being under SEC scrutiny. So afterwards, I'm like, wow, it's gone. That's cool. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, it was it was almost a year, and actually, was it longer than a year and a half? So when did it happen? 2023? Yeah, August 2023. So that's like a year and almost 9 months.
Yeah.
That was
it felt so normal. It felt normal for a long time that we were, the persecution felt normal, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, nothing really changed. We're just good to go now. We're even gooder to go."
Backtrack within crypto in general regarding hacks like Uniswap, relisting hacks, and all that stuff is awesome, and it seems it looks like it's snowballing a bit now, and I hope it snowballs into some exchanges possibly. But just the general perception now is better, and I don't think that we're experiencing this down because of anything that any pending litigation, right? Usually, when you have a chance to for a response in this, in the current climate, this is going to be a big fat nothing burger, and I do believe that the possible good news that we received after the 20 days is up is probably already priced in.
That I agree with. I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. You might see a little blip like we did, right? But I don't anticipate it to be the same size blip even that we had the day that the case was dismissed by a judge, not dropped by the SEC like some are reporting, right?
For lack of jurisdiction and lack of merit. They only talked about jurisdiction part, like, oh, we could have got him if we only could have. It's like, no, you couldn't have got him because both of those were
100%. And it was also awesome to have Nuclear Herbs breaking that shit down all the time. Every time we had some funky document, that guy's strong. I love that guy.
Yeah, he
spoke at the conference too. He was up there. Him and another lawyer. We had two legal experts on stage.
Can't beat that.
So, it's definitely something that I am very, very happy about. I'm honestly so grateful. It's almost surreal, and it's just for me looking ahead now. It feels like the light at the end of the tunnel is here. It's just like I'm literally sitting here silently trying to do the math accurately. So, July 31st, 2023. So that leads us to August 2024, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So like 1 year, 7 months, almost 8 months. It's wild.
Can we dig out of this hole without Ethereum being healthy?
I don't think so. Not financial advice, but I don't think so. I think this market still, a large majority of this market is still very much dependent on Ethereum. And you can see that through the ubiquitous downtrend. Like, yeah, Bitcoin hit 108K and is still trading well above its all-time high from the last cycle. But Ethereum is like 55% lower than its all-time high last cycle, or 50% or somewhere around there. I think it hit 4,800 last cycle or 3,800. I'm not sure. I don't remember. So we'll just use 4,000 as a standard.
Yeah, it was way over $4,000, right? And right now is $1,900.
Yeah,
that could be true for some chains, but I think for Pulse Chain, it's not necessarily true. Given that we know that there's sack bags with a lot of Ethereum that in theory could be deployed. We shouldn't expect that. But as far as a ratio trade between Pulse Chain and Ethereum right now, it's not a terrible trade. Someone might choose to swap their Ethereum for Pulse Chain, which is below the sacrifice price. And as far as a bet goes, I don't think that's the worst I've ever heard of.
Yeah, let's just call that what it is, right? Those Ethereum that were purchased at with an average price of $3,700, right? By wallets that we all follow. And when those Ethereum were purchased, I believe Pulse was around 1.2 ish, right? Was doing a nice little ride. So right now, basically, if you take that ratio, you have a $6,000 ETH if you were to go into Pulse Chain 4 zeros and a 3, right? That's exactly what I've been talking about. That ratio is way more strong if that financial horsepower was deployed, or at least some of it, right, was deployed.
It'd be a better deal in terms of the amount of pulse that you could acquire than it was at that time.
Especially with this funkiness where freaking PulseX looks like it's going to be parity with freaking Pulse. That's unbelievable to me.
I was just going to ask you guys that. I mean, I was going to bring that up too. We've seen PulseX actually go above the Pulse Chain price, and I'm curious to hear from you guys. Like, and this is obviously a speculative question by all means of the word. What do you think out of the we'll just say 5 core tokens? You have eHex, Hex, Inc, Pulse Chain, and PulseX. Which one do you think he finds? And again, this is speculative, guys. Don't take this as gospel. This is just our opinions. What do you think he finds most? What do you think he's most excited about personally? I really think it's PulseX, and I think he posts about PulseX the most. At least what I've seen.
When you say excited about, what do you mean by that? Do you think because we saw in that last dip one of those wallets buying PulseX, which was kind of cool, right? Which made that go even higher. Mm-hmm. But the day might come when he starts buying Hex, one of them. It'll probably be the one on Pulse, but I still think that's his baby.
Yeah. Could be. It could be he buys Pulse too, and he's done all of the above in the past, right? So, if you want to pump the entire ecosystem, then Pulse is the right path because it is the most connected to everything else on the chain. Everything touches Pulse either one step away or directly. Very few things wouldn't pump if the price of Pulse doubled on the entire chain. So there's definitely some benefits there. I think he could make some of the same plays that he did with Hex as well as with Inc, like with reducing inflation with Pulse. Like all he's got to do is spool up 45,000 validators or so, and we could have a greatly reduced amount of Pulse coming out on a monthly basis, and that could change the game. I think people would be bullish on an idea like that. Except for validators, probably they'd be less bullish on it.
Speaking of validators, I wanted to touch on this and just go back to the conference real quick. What did you guys think of Project Pi?
I've interviewed them before, a couple times actually. It's so for what I remember, you're able to become a validator at like half the value of Pulse. That initially would be the case, like 32 million Pulse thing. You can do it with half, if I'm not mistaken. True. It seems kind of interesting.
You don't even have to, like, you can mint their STPLS and with 10,000 Pulse, and you're effectively a validator. There's multiple levels of how deep you can dive into it, and that's the same for the Vouch protocol. As well as the Validator X protocol. So we have 3 liquid staking protocols on Pulse Chain right now, similar to like Rocket Pool or Lido DAO. We have 3, which is awesome. So
I love Jexa too. Jexa's awesome, right?
Yeah, that's the Vouch protocol. Yeah. And then Haunted's got the Validator X protocol. They're all just a little bit different. I would encourage anybody to read up on them before jumping in. But, they all present benefits, and they all lock up Pulse. It gives you something to do with your Pulse other than to sell it, where you can make extra yield. So
one of the most impressive things I saw, though, was when I forget his name, but when he started typing in prompts into his Pi AI agent, right, and creating a web of trades, right, swapping one thing to one thing to one thing using an AI agent within Project Pi. That was impressive, right? That is a thing that people within this community have tried to do in the past, and I thought that was absolutely badass. It was very impressive. One of the most impressive things I saw on stage.
Yeah, it goes to show, like, it's just a matter of getting some of these projects that are very, very not prominent, but like very, very, very powerful or have a lot of utility on Pulse Chain. It's just getting the word out. Like, I've interviewed a lot of these projects on Pulse Chain, like Project Pi. I've interviewed I think 3 or 4 times now, and like they they're very interesting projects. A lot of these projects that some people are not well acquainted with, and that doesn't mean you have to buy the token or anything like that. It's just these products are there where an individual can participate in a DeFi ecosystem with maybe lower barriers of entry, or if they want to garner yield with another project. It's the assortment of projects on Pulse Chain that just keep launching, and of course some of them will fail or some of them will be scams, but there are some out there that are doing very, very well. And like I Project Pi, I've interviewed them, and I think they're very interesting. Again, it's not an endorsement, not paid. Do your own research. It is I'm not paid by Project Pi, but Project Pi has been interesting for the times that I've interviewed them.
Yeah, they are doing some interesting things. Another thing that was said that I thought was pretty cool that not many people say was when RG3 said that the last pump we had that got us up to $108,000 Bitcoin, right, was the big money movers doing OTC deals, right? That wasn't retail playing in that market. That was OTC deals and a little bit of excitement and FOMO. But those were people anticipating ETFs and what the administration's going to be doing with Bitcoin and blah, 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 blah. That wasn't the retail pump that we saw in prior bull markets, right? That was guys doing large OTC deals, and then people seeing that money move and getting a little bit of FOMO on top of that. But that wasn't retail coming in and pumping the shit out of the market.
Just on the maybe like localized in the Pulse Chain ecosystem too. A lot of people talk about the different whales. Godwell, you have Sack Daddy, you have the Sack address and all this stuff too. That's got a ton of ETH, DAI, whatever too. Don't forget the AA, Hex AA collected is either 500,000 or around 1 million ETH. So that's about $1 million or $2 billion at today's value at around $200,000 $2,000 ETH. So there's everyone's like, oh, we need ETH to get to a certain price before rotation would be great. That's only looking at that amount of funds too. There may be other whale funds and stuff around there. So never underestimate the whales who like the ecosystem. Say that.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think basically like what we see now is it's sad, but it's a waiting game. It's a waiting. Let me just get Triplet that back. But yeah, it's literally a waiting game right now, and it's been a brutal waiting game because, my God, how many things have we gone through over the last 4 years of things collapsing, of uncertainty, of administrations that are not very friendly, or basically advocates for this industry. And like, I think a lot of people right now are disgruntled, including myself, because of the fact that everyone had not everyone, but many people had an expectation that once Trump got into office and this friendly crypto administration came in, that a bull market would take off. But it's not happening like that. It's wild to me because, I used to talk about this with my friend. Last cycle, the halving was in May, and then the bull market really started in November, December of that year in 2020. This time, the halving happened in April, and now it's literally almost a year from the halving, and we really haven't seen like a sustained bull trend with altcoins at all. Maybe with Bitcoin, yeah, but with altcoins, not really. And there's a lot of theories behind that, and I don't want to get into so many of them because it would be exhausting. We'd be here for 3 days. But it's definitely, I think personally, and this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. I think it's just a waiting game now. Yeah, I really do. I don't know how long that wait's going to be, but it's just a waiting game in my opinion.
Can I give you one? Go ahead.
Saying if you're feeling disgruntled, what always makes us feel better? A Michael Saylor impression. I did one earlier. Pulse Vision hasn't spoke yet, to my knowledge. If he'd like to be first, next in line to do a Michael Saylor impression of some sort to cheer up the crowd here, feel free. No pressure.
People that buy fiat, we call them poor. We call them poor.
I like that one.
Nice.
That's a good one.
I can't do one. I can't do it.
Come on, Corey. You can do it.
There is no second best. It's only Bitcoin.
It's got to be squeakier. It's got to be squeakier.
I can't do his voice. Listen, he's a great leader for crypto, but I cannot do an impersonation of him.
Yeah, shout out to Michael Saylor. Please
He's
come by
great.
some hacks.
I really do like Michael
However,
Saylor.
his Bitcoin rants are legendary.
Yeah, he's great.
Can I give one tinfoil hat thing that might be good? If you think about how the grassroots financial power was deployed for GameStop, okay?
Yeah.
And to bolster that and take it out of the hands of huge financial backers, right? Markets. And if you take that same mentality and you move it into traditional finance, which is what's affecting our crypto markets right now, and then input the angst of our new administration, I do think that there are powers out there that are making this market do what it is doing on purpose, and for a reason. And
I'm starting to believe that too.
It's for a political reason. And if a bunch of little guys with Robinhood accounts all over the world can take a GameStop token and completely put people out of business, right? That were shorting that stock or trying to take it over, whatever they're doing, right? I believe that high-powered and those grassroots people are trying to do the same. It starts with some of the Tesla stuff, right? You see Tesla vehicles burning in dealerships last night, right? Mm-hmm. I think there is a lot of people that are very angry right now about the political environment. And I believe that that's what's doing this, and it's not something you can chart, right? And all those people that say that they're follow me, I'm doing these charts, blah 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 blah. I think there's a handful of people out there who make good calls, and they don't make them all the time. They're not doing a chart on a daily basis or a weekly basis or anything. You have Richard Hart, who said this is the Bitcoin top. That was a one-time thing. He doesn't come out and predict shit all the time, right? You have the gentleman that predicted the crash, the Big Short, right? The real estate market. He came out once and said, this is what's happening. And he's made a couple of calls since then. But there's people that believe what they're seeing, and they'll stand on it and freaking bring it out to the masses and tell people, and nobody will believe them. I believe those people more than I believe people that put pastel lines on a chart. 100%.
Well said. Yeah, no, I agree. And again, like I said, only time will tell. I think the only thing that we can really all do here as builders and streamers is to literally do just that, to build and stream and to grow this ecosystem how we can. I mean, the strength in streaming, the strength in building projects and building decentralized applications for a robust chain. I think that's really what we can do now, and just wait and play a waiting game and, start trying to make connections. Like, I should have a stream tomorrow with somebody in the Pulse Chain ecosystem who has been actively involved, trying to get us on, trying to get us more attention from the Pulse Chain ecosystem. Eric Wall. No, not Eric Wall. No.
I would tune into that one.
No, not Eric Wall. I don't think he's ever been on a stream before. He may be. I don't know. I haven't seen him on any streams before. So
he probably does a lot of good marketing for us. And if he came on your show, that would probably be good marketing as well.
I've had Eric Wall on my channel. The last time I had Eric Wall on Altcoin Daily commented in. That was a while ago. I've asked Eric since then. I've had Eric on. I've asked Eric to come on since I had him on 2 years ago now, or 2.5 years ago. I never got a response.
He could be stake 5555. We never know. Could have a nice going on. Yeah.
Could be.
I don't think so.
But guys, I know we've been going for about an hour. Is there anything that you guys want to say that we haven't maybe said that you guys want to cover?
I should probably mention that there's a chance that the ink printer protocol, a stablecoin protocol where ink is used as a collateral, there's a chance that will launch really soon. So people should probably keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
Very nice.
Cool.
If you guys haven't caught RH Max's stream of the round table there with Fast Abdoul and Sloth and those guys, that's definitely worth jumping into. I'm not going to say there weren't a couple guys at the table that I hit fast forward on, but I'm saying there was a lot of really good alpha in that room. Really, really good. That was
It wasn't me. I
cool.
talked for about 7 minutes total.
Was that the one with dollar cost crypto and cultivate?
Yeah, Cultivate Crypto and Dollar Cost Crypto.
I
It
watched
was
a little
in
bit
their
of it,
studio.
It's
Live
great.
in Vegas.
It's a great conversation. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was a good time. That was a great stream. Shout out to DCC and Charlie hosting that one too.
They are good fellas. So, guys, everyone in the chat, and if you're in my chat or in someone else's chat right now, make sure to subscribe to everyone up here. Make sure to follow everyone up here. Make sure to like the video wherever it is, whatever channel you're on, and share it. We're trying to do what we can to bring about more awareness for Pulse Chain and just the Pulse Chain ecosystem as a whole. So, guys, please consider doing that. And thank you for everyone who came. Thank you everyone who smashed the like and subscribed and shared. And guys, I appreciate the time, guys.
Thank you to our buddy in the hat department. Came out with this banger hat for the golf event. Pretty awesome, right? Look at the inside.
Beautiful
hat. Out of his own pocket, came out to the golf event, sponsored a hole, gave out hats. Gave people that attend other events a stack of hats to give out at other events, which we'll be doing, right? Which is a pretty awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Indeed.
Cool.
Shout out to Brian.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, give me 1 second. 1
3, 2